It has an interesting story. This is very old. I don't even know who invented it. They say once a hunter saw a hare passing and he ran after the hare. When he was running after this hare, another hunter saw him too and saw the hare and started running after as well. But there was another hunter who was taking a nap. When he saw the second hunter was already passing, he did not see the hare. Then he asks, "Why are you running?" Then they tell, "Isn't it because there is a hare in front?" Then he starts running after too. And the same thing, they joined a lot of hunters running after the history that the hunters told that they had seen a hare. But who saw were only the first two. The others were running because of the movement. There was nothing to do, nothing. Someone saw. Let's run after too. Moral of the story? A few hours later, the hunters got tired and stopped running, and only continued to run the two who had seen the hare, because they knew behind they were running. Our life of Christians is the same thing. I tell us that we are Catholics. I tell you who are evangelicals. Sometimes we put our confidence in the pastor because he told us that he has a hare on the road. But it can't be like that. I have to see the hare, because otherwise I will be discouraged over time. If I don't have an experience of Jesus, if I do not experience him in my flesh, the power of his resurrection, changing my way of being a man, of being a priest, modifying my way of finding, living, looking, feeling. Anyway, if I do not feel the benefits of my conversion process, which is to become a better person, soon I stop running after, and only comes the one who saw the Lord. It's just like the story of the Samaritan, which she runs to tell. And then they come to confirm what she had told. And then she comes back and meets them. And they talk to her, we believe. It's not because you told us we believe, it is because we also saw it. We are not now believing in the word of Jesus because you came to talk about it to us. No, we are believing in the word of Jesus is because we heard him to speak to and his word touched us. It's the same story, my people. Sometimes we go is because we want to see that preacher, want to see that person talk. But we don't find out the essence of what he is talking about. We just not and can't. Because one day it may be that this preacher disappoint you. And it's good to disappoint, you know why? For you to know if you believe in God or not. Because if, in the face of disappointment with what is human, your faith goes to the ground, then it means that it was never faith. She was just a confidence in that human who is taking you together. And it can't be around. Our faith has to be something bigger. It has to be more grounded. It cannot depend on this human precariousness. No, we don't put hope for what we didn't see. We put hope for what we saw. That's why we have to make the constant experience of seeing the Lord, as through his word, through sacrament, through the knowledge of his thing, we feel the benefits of God's life in our lives. This is very beautiful. When you have a truly converted person, you can forget. She will never be a problem again because she will find out the key to solving the problems she has. You can see, the people who give us the most work in life, they have no life in God. And it is said that it is farce. It's a scam. Because when God comes into our lives, really, he puts us so courage to face life that there is nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is not small talk. No. When you find a person of true, solid, and grounded faith, this person is naturally balanced, works from common sense, always seeks wisdom, always wants to help, always has a word of incentive, always wants to look for a way to fix that is wrong. Because the God only does this to us. My people. God only improves us. The more we dive into God, the better we get. This is too beautiful. God is not a weight. God does not come to weigh our life. God is not an unpleasant situation. No, the opposite. When God enters our lives, He helps us organize our home, helps us look at our children, helps us look at our wife, helps us look at our friends, our brothers. Today I was giving a pedo there in a person I love, which is a blood loop. I said, react. You can't wait for things to fall from the sky. God helps us to do. He doesn't do for us. And that's beautiful. The father who loves teaches the child to do. Does nothing. I would like to take the opportunity to ask a question. How do you see the history of the Catholic Church? Your basis. What is it? And what is it today? I ask this question because I had been unbelieving religion for a long time and had even stopped going to the church. Only after watching your programs did I begin to rescue my desire to resume religion. That's why for me it is important to emphasize that at no time did I lose my faith. My faith in God is absolute. I say my prayers. I'm a Christian. But what I saw in the church did not convince me. People go to church a ways, but forget to practice love in everyday life, to help with small opportunities and so on. Chris. It is interesting to think that faith in Jesus, it also goes through faith in the church. Because all the time the church legitimizes this presence of Christ in history. Through the sacraments, through the word. So we need the church. From the human point of view, we need it. Jesus would not need the church. But He, for a human reason, institutes the church because we are men and women who need situations that help us to arrest us in what is eternal. Interesting that, right? Why is material reality close to everything that is eternal? Is nothing the matter? It is temporary. It passes. Can we say that the church also passes? Can we also say that this church is temporary? Her human character is. Isn't the church the presence of Christ in the church? Now, the way this Christ is lived and interpreted by the church, it depends a lot on time. It depends a lot on the time. It depends on the people who reflect. Depends on the people who lead. There is a very interesting perspective that says God will always be a victim of human intelligence, because the church is holy, but it is also human. And the moment she is human, she is marked by boundaries, she is marked by errors, because there are no people who do not make mistakes. This human being has not yet been manufactured. And how Christ institute the priest dies, the sacristan dies, the reader dies, the pastoral ends, and the Christ continues. Where is the big mistake, Christian? It is when we hold our attention and our faith in the human aspect of the church. Then you will be disappointed because it is human, and the moment you are disappointed, you leave because you have lost meaning to you. That's why everything that is human needs to be relative. There is no other way. It's relative because I have no way to be absolute. I can't as a priest, for example. I am not absolute. I am relative. I am relative. I pass. I lose my utility within the church. The Christ who is in me already gives me this guarantee. So really, when we have the historical process, if we look at it, we have all the reasons to speak. The church made it too wrong. I will drop it there. You see, many immature people, as they study the Holy Inquisition, which was a period of the terrible church, of terrible human errors, many people risk losing their faith. Only their people have to read that human error is not the totality of the church. That time of the church does not condemn everything that the church is. The church is more than that. The church is holy. And if I hold on to what is the sin of the church, then I will not have reasons to follow Jesus. This is what Dom Carmo said to us yesterday, on our day of mercy. He spoke. We cannot follow the person. We have to follow Jesus. Sometimes we listen a lot, right? Father, I left my church because I was disappointed with the priest. So, okay, it really goes. If the reason you were in the church was the priest, you went through the time for you to leave. You need to go there to find out another value. We are not in the church because of the priest. We are in the church because of Jesus. Now the priest, he can help or harm our permanence, of course. This is his process of holiness that he has to evaluate. But you also have yours. The other day I answered a person and she said like this, "Father, I'm not going to church because everyone there is all a bunch of bastard, all a bunch of hypocritical." I thought, look, where there are no naughty people, where there are no hypocritical people. If so, you can't even go to the gym. Everywhere there are naughty people, there are hypocritical people. But it is not because of this that people stop attending these places. Only here, naughtiness and hypocrisy has a way. Here we believe in the conversion process. We believe in change. That's why it's very honest. It would have to be very honest on our part. We take over. Look, I'm in the process of improvement. So the group I participate, my church group, my reflection group, is the group that knows my weaknesses. And the moment they come out, people help me overcome it. It's so beautiful, right? And then the whole community character of this conversion comes in. I am inside the church, and in the church, I convert to Christ. But my conversion also bumps into the people on my side, so I need to be aware of my way of being a Christian all the time, and the other helps me with your way too. It is a way we have, Christiana, to overcome this weight of what is human. No, guys, errors we will always make, but we can't lose sight of Christ. Sometimes there are people who ask for faith for everything they can't even understand. You can't even understand. And when they tell the reasons why the church stopped, they say it was never mature. It was never faith. Because if it's faith, you won't depend on what is being there.